The second leading hitter for Stanford coming into this weekend, 2-0.
And Jones has power, but her bunt ability and speed as well is, to me, so crazy good. Can kill a bunt, soften a bunt, so the defense moved in, especially with Kern there at third base. You don't want to put a run on the board so early. If you're Oregon, you want to try to keep this score even at 0. Stanford already putting the pressure on.
Infield is in. And the 2-1 delivery is fouled back. Well, he mentioned Sokolsky led the Big East in wins at UConn back in 2022 as a freshman. Transferred to Oregon. We saw her a season ago down in the Norman Regional. And now stepping in right behind Lindsey Grine in her standout performance in the circle yesterday. That one sneaks through on the high bounce. River Mailer fouls off the first pitch that she sees. Starting shortstop, first team All-ACC performer this year. And Sokolsky low and away. Lindsey Grine hustling now in the Oregon bullpen. And she was a bolt of energy in the run roll win against Weber State yesterday. You and I were wondering, Jenny, whether or not we would see her to start in the circle after that performance, or how she would respond. Got a full week of rest in between starts.
Well, you can ask the question, why wouldn't you, quote unquote, start your ace? Sokolsky has been very good for this staff. So they're, to me, a 1A, 1B. I know Grine has had the numbers.
Popped up left side of the infield. And Sinicki, 2 paces in front of the grass, will make the grab. Out number 1.
And to me, to beat an offense like Stanford, you likely would have had to see both Grine and Sokolsky in this game anyway, potentially to mix it. So whether you start Sokolsky and finish with Grine, or start with Grine and finish with Sokolsky, I think you were going to expect to see them in this game. Not expecting to see Grine warming up this early.
Here's Jade Berry. Change up and a called strike. .62 degrees, the breeze blowing a little bit out towards right field. Chance of rain later today. Fouled away, and it's 0-2. Cardinal were able to pour it on yesterday in their victory against Binghamton. Early run in that game set the tone. Both teams convincing wins their first matchups here in the Eugene Regional. Berry a hit yesterday in 4 at-bats. Takes outside. Veteran umpiring crew again today. Matt Jacks calling balls and strikes behind home plate. Todd Foy over at first. Smokey Eds behind second. Scott Wallace over at third. And the 2-2 swatted in fair territory. McCoy's going to make the tag. Advancing to second will be Jones.
That was a good pitch by Sokolsky. Gets Jones to kind of top the ball. Good infield ground ball that allowed McCoy just to put the tag on. Look at these infield ground ball plays. That's how you can get out of this inning.
Kira Chan, 1 pitch for out number 3. McCoy.
What their goal is when they come up to the plate.
103 stolen bases in the illustrious career of Kyla Shar. And a first pitch out of the zone. It's 1-0. Set that record yesterday early against Weber State. Kylie Chung gets the start in the circle. The senior from Thousand Oaks, California, one of the team leaders. She has gobbled up the innings this year after coming into this campaign with just 4 total starts in her career. Run rule victory for Texas Tech as we welcome you to Eugene, Oregon. Stanford and the Ducks. First meeting between these old Pac-12 rivals in just over a year. A matchup that has all the cachet you could hope for. Cardinal on the board first as Luchar flies out to right field. First out in the home half of the first inning. Jenny Ritter, Roy Philpott. 62 degrees. It is chilly in the great Northwest and a slight breeze, but we expect plenty of fireworks today between these two teams.
That's a good start here for the Stanford defense. Get somebody like a Kai Luchar out on a pop fly does not allow her to utilize her speed and put it in play. You take that away from somebody like her, we're in good shape.
Inside to Sinicki, and Page hitting .364 this season. 0 for 3 yesterday, and the senior from Hendersonville, Nevada. Went to Coronado High School, first team all Big Ten this season, playing at shortstop for Missy Lombardi. Upstairs, and it's 2-0. Sun is poked out here for a second. You and I were talking about these outstanding uniforms for both sides. It pops in the sunshine. 2-1.
I do like the yellows. For some reason you say pops. I enjoy them. They are bright. Came to play today.
Both teams convincing wins in their first matchups here in Eugene. 9-2 victory yesterday for Stanford against Binghamton. And Oregon handled Weber State in run rule fashion. These two teams will meet as soon as we're done here, an elimination affair. 3-1 is ripped foul. May have tagged a radar gun down there, right up against the netting.
This is a good last couple of pitches there by Chung in the circle. She got behind on the count. A couple pitches that were just missing the zone by too much. The free passes obviously can play a factor bigger in this game with the speed of the Ducks. And so for Chung, who tends to get in trouble with some hit by pitches, some walks, something that she needs to limit here to fight back into a 3-2 count, battle back to work to get outs. That's kind of the key to this game. And her job there in the circle is to limit those free passes today.
7 now we're talking about. You would think there would be some nerves involved. Your first postseason at bat, first pitch that you see. No problems for Riley McCoy. Coach Lombardi told us this week she may technically be a freshman. One conversation with Riley McCoy and you realize she does not act nor play like a first-year player.
She has a level of comfort and a level of, I don't know what the right word is about it. When you see it in her eyes, just a focus that feels well beyond her years. It doesn't feel new to her. It doesn't feel hard at all. It just looks normal.
Off the elbow, runners now at first and second. So Sinicki roams to second base. McCoy now at first, and Oregon threatening.
And this is the issue that has kind of plagued the Stanford pitching staff all along. Hit by pitches and walks. Stanford leading the nation in hit by pitches now as a staff in the wrong direction, too many of them.
Here's Kedri Luchar, younger sister of Kai. Out of Carson City, Nevada, Carson High School, leading hitter for the Ducks this year. Now that average at .466. In and out of the glove. Chung recovers in time to record the out. And there's 2 away. Both runners advance.
How huge was that for Luchar at first base? A big second out there. Good composure in the circle too, to not panic and feel like you have to rush that throw. So often as pitchers, you think if you bobble it or it doesn't quite get in the glove, you have to pick it up and make a quick throw, and you make an errant throw.
Here's Emma Cox, the freshman from Colorado. I mentioned the surprising scores around the country today. How about Liberty beating Texas A&M?
I told you at the beginning of the day, it was going to be a wild day of scoring to me. So much can happen to me. This is such a crazy year of softball that you don't know who's going to win the World Series. You don't know what's going to happen.
And we did not know what was going to happen here. And apparently Kylie Chung's afternoon, for the moment, comes to a close. Jessica Allister out of the dugout, and a pitching change will be made in Eugene.
Maybe a little bit more wild than expected. You can't afford to push too many runs, put too many runs on the base path. And Houston has not seen any innings yet here in this region. You've got 3 pitchers that you know you're going to mix. Put her in this game and let her have the ball, get a chance in the circle.
Big moment early. Cox with runners at second and third with McCoy and Sinicki. High in the zone to even the count. Houston, a 3-time state champion with Benton High School in the Natural State. And a 2-time Arkansas Player of the Year. You take a look at her scouting report.
Hey, she's got great spin rate. She has a rise to all levels. That spin rate results in a lot of strikeouts, 141 in the 103 innings that she's thrown. She has a curveball and a screwball and that changeup that she'll mix around as well. Just a different look than you'll see from Kylie Chung.
High heat. Driver's seat. Got Weber State and Binghamton coming up. Elimination game as soon as this matchup is finished. Joey Economides will lead things off, and it's 0-1. You mentioned the chilly conditions here. It feels more like maybe mid to late winter. When that sun starts to peek out a little bit, warms things up, all of a sudden, for a threat of bad weather all day, all week, it seems to be pretty nice.
I have to laugh at you. It does not feel like mid to late winter.
I mean, from where I'm from, it does.
The North Carolina coming at me, the South Carolina coming at me. It is beautiful. A little chilly.
You just basically repeated what I've been saying. A little chill. 1 and 2.
It's like a nice spring day.
Midwinter.
Winter.
Economides, third-team All-ACC. Just grabbed a piece into the dirt. Stays alive. Joey, part of the All-ACC freshman team this year. Started the season as the starter over at first base. Maybe my favorite nugget of the weekend, she was the first player to homer at Stanford Stadium, where they played this year in softball, the football venue. And speaking of home runs, that one leaves the facility and Stanford grabs a 2-0 lead. Well, the strength on full display, her 13th long ball this season.
Well, Joey Economides, I mean, you can say it about the power of every single one of these hitters in this lineup, but she is just a pure hitter. You can see the energy, the attitude that she has, the excitement that she brings to this team. But this is a team that just sticks to a game plan. They see a pitch they like and they drive it.
And Koch just missed extra bases. Fouled first home run of the season at Stanford Stadium, and now the most recent homer of the season hit for the Cardinal. On a 1-2 count, no less.
They didn't hit any home runs yesterday, but that was kind of part of their game plan yesterday. They knew that if they tried to hit home runs off Brianna Roberts, that they felt that they'd have a lot of pop-ups based on the way she pitched. And so their game plan was really to drive pitches that were hittable. And because of that, they ended up scoring 9 runs without hitting a home run. But again, part of that game plan, that was a mature decision that they made as hitters.
Koch, a swing and a miss. And Kaylin Koch strikes out. First strikeout for Elise Sokolsky. And a good bounce back after the home run given up to Economides.
I was gonna say, a great bounce back. You give up a big home run like that, you stop thinking about that, you have short-term memory, and you find a way to get an out. By the way, a big out, because that was the first out that Kaylin Koch has even gotten. She was 4 for 4 yesterday. First time she's gotten out.
Kylie Chung takes low and away. And Chung, the designated player, steps out and now back in. Senior from Thousand Oaks, California. 0 for 2 yesterday, but did draw a couple of walks and had an RBI. Chung has turned out to be a dynamic leader for head coach Jessica Allister. In the circle, dynamic two-way player. One and two, and that one clipped Cox.
Yeah, she's feeling it.
To Chung, and Sokolsky trying to settle in. She's dealt with some early pop from these Stanford hitters. The Cardinals second in America with a .357 batting average as a team. And you take a look at their season, easy for me to say, single season records established this year. And in home runs, they almost doubled what the previous record was. 57 home runs in a season to 94 this year, and make it 95 after Economides. Another interesting note there under Jessica Allister. If you exclude the COVID year, Stanford has increased its scoring, total runs per season, in every year that she's coached Cardinal softball program. Now in year number 8. Payoff to Chung. Hammered foul.
Yeah, I love that stat too, because to me that's one of the biggest things about growing the culture of a program, about what Jessica Allister, Jessica Merchant have done for this program, is that if you can find a way to continually grow your offense time after time after time and show that runs and your ability to improve your offense year after year gets better, then you're growing a culture of offense and defense, not just defense.
Fly ball to the gap. That one's going to get down at the base of the wall. Chung digging for second and slides in safely just ahead of the tag. And the one-out double for Kyle. Eugene Regional. Into the circle against Allie Clements. First pitch strike on the inner half.
Well, important to note, too, that she's been dominant against top 25 teams, because she's facing another one here.
Dominant would be one way to describe it. Perfect would be perhaps a better way. She's yet to yield a run to a top 25 team this season. That's how great Lindsey Grine has been. 2-0 ball game. Work to do for the Ducks here at home in Eugene. Popped up, shallow right field. Should be an easy play for Patman, and it is.
You can immediately see the pace at which she works is just quicker. You know, we talked about at the beginning that start fast, stay fast, finish fast type situation that Oregon needs to work through. I think that the pace that she brings in the circle can contribute to that. Just maintaining a quicker pace allows the Ducks to kind of just work a little bit more, have higher energy and work faster.
Back to Kern. And to the top of the order, looks as if
here's some respect right here.
a lot of respect. Free pass will be in order.
Oh, I hated intentionally walking people. Hated it. But it's the right thing to do here.
I hear the pain in your voice.
I hated it.
It's genuine and real.
Oh, when you're a competitor, you want to go right at the best. You want to go right at the best. But you've got runners on, you've got a base to give, and you've got 2 outs. The strategy is right. You take the best hitter with the most home runs on the team, and you face somebody that has short game and speed. And don't get me wrong, Jones has 9 home runs. She has the ability for extra base hits. She's batting .431.
Second leading hitter for Stanford.
I mean, you're taking your odds here, because don't forget 1 through 9 is solid, but you take your chances with the lesser hitter, if you will. It pains me to say lesser hitter at .435.
She also drove in the first run of the game for Stanford, bringing home Kern from third base back in the first inning.
I was just going to say, you play the odds that with 1 swing of the bat, you're not putting 2 runs on, you know, with somebody that's that strong.
Heads up top. You can feel the energy in this stadium shifting with Grine in the circle. Full count.
Runner should be going.
Grounded back up the middle, backhand, and the delivery to second for the force out. That's one way to do it. An important play with Lindsey Grine. Home half of the second inning, trailing 2-0. The freshman out of San Diego, top player in the region, coming out of high school, Academy of Our Lady Peace. The 0-1 from Houston stays high. Oregon claimed the Big Ten regular season championship in 2025, its first year in the Big Ten. Stanford finished in a tie for 4th place in the ACC. His first year in that conference. A ball and 2 strikes. And Jenny, this could be the first of several matchups between these 2 old Pac-12 rivals. 2-2. One was fouled away almost awkwardly, and Stephanie will back out for a second. Check that.
It's her hand trying to sell it there.
If it hits the hand and the bat, it's still a foul ball, I would assume, right?
If it hits, sell it, which I think is great. Why not try to sell it? Take your base.
Good take there on a close call. Maake did have the home run, or the double rather, yesterday that really started to ignite the Ducks. Pops it up and out of play right behind us here at the Jane.
And that's what upspin will do. That foul ball right there, it looks like it's coming in. It jumps just over your bat. You kind of get those pop foul balls. You're going to go up and out of the park. Get your barrel on it enough, they'll go out of the park in the right way.
Punch out for Houston. Maake's retired.
Out there to get the leadoff batter.
Well, we talked about Des Patman earlier. Her home run yesterday, batting right behind Maake, was part of the ignition to this Oregon offense. Their victory against Weber State, her 9th of the season. Des also out of San Diego, Patrick Henry High School. Ball in the strike. Began her career at North Carolina A&T, then transferred to New Mexico State. That home run part of 2-for-3 outing over the Wildcats out of the Big Sky. Snaps it across. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Great corner on that pitch.
Two and two. These two teams played their last 3-game series, both as members of the Pac-12 early May last year. We've talked to both programs. There's a healthy respect between Oregon and Stanford. Rip foul. Even in different leagues now, but I think there's some comfort in the close proximity compared to the teams that both of these programs had to face this year, new leagues that were all the way over on the East Coast. Jessica Allister called it the craziest year of her entire life. Another punch out for Houston. 3 strikeouts. The Stanford pitcher.
And the last 2 both looking. It's Des Patman as well. 2 big Ks.
Kaylin Jones. Big cut stepping out. Out of Denton, Texas. Taps it into center field. That's going to drop right in front of Jones for a base hit. So a 2-out knock, and that'll be the first batter that Houston has not struck out. And the first hit here in Eugene as part of this regional for Kaylin Jones. Certainly a threat to steal.
Yep, no doubt about it. And I think with Jones, she's got a barrel on the ball. When you have somebody like Houston with up spin, if you can get your barrel on top of the ball and just poke it into the field, find a way to get on base as a slapper.
First hit of the game for the Ducks. 1-0 to Katie Flannery, getting the start at third base again for Oregon. Sophomore out of Birmingham, Alabama. You see her numbers. Hit softly off a hop, the awkward spin, and no problem whatsoever for Taryn Kern over at second base. River Mailer recorded the final out bottom of the second moments ago at shortstop. 0 for 1 today. Nothing in 1 to count. It's Lindsey Grine. River 1 for 4. This Eugene Regional thus far, and Grine back at it. Out of the bullpen, replacing Sokolsky. High and title back Mailer away.
That one was in. If I'm Mailer, I'm wearing that one. Take the base, but Mailer just had a phenomenal year. Might want to not take the bat out of her hand. 10 home runs this year. Had not had them her previous 2 years. Coach Allister talked to us a lot about that, you know, sometimes people just make the assumption that who you are as a freshman is who you're going to be forever. These batters, these hitters get better every year. They're stronger. They see more pitches. Now they're just more mature as juniors. Mailer, one of them.
Now she's seen a ton of high-level pitching. Just miss for Grine. And River Mailer trots down to first base. Second walk issued by Oregon pitching.
This one's not missing by much, but it is a little low. It's not missing by much, but it is, to me, just a touch underneath those knees. It's got to be right at the top of the strike zone. Just above the strike zone, above those knees to be called a strike. Mailer earns her spot to first base.
Here's Jade Berry. Batting cleanup again, low and away from Grine. Arizona native from Queen Creek, third-team All-ACC performer this season. Also lettered in basketball and track in high school, sends this one down the right field line. And Patman unable to get there. It's racing in that direction. Athletic family for Jade. Her dad was fourth-round pick of the Astros, 1990 MLB draft. Mom played basketball, Colorado Mesa University. And the punch-out retires Berry.
And as soon as it freezes her, she can't take the swing on it. Great pitch by Grine. Got to mix it up. Got to change speeds. But a good out and a good bounce back after a walk.
Back to Kira Chan. Opposite way. Lifted high in the air near the track, and a grab made. Lashar. And Kai Lashar. Quick hug with her sister Kedri for out number 2. Now, their story certainly an outstanding one. Kai set the new record for stolen bases yesterday in Oregon history, now with 103 in her career. Canamides, first pitch strike, and of course she showed you her power her first time up. Home run off the top of the net in left field. Right off of Grine, and you hope that she's okay. To third, and Flannery delivers in time, and Lindsey Grine races out of the circle.
Lindsey Grine.
Workmanlike questions and workmanlike response. Top of the order leads things off for the Oregon Ducks. Already in comeback mode, Lashar, Sinicki, and McCoy. And Lashar's sisters front and center stage this weekend. Once again, Kai Lashar, of course, 55 stolen bases this year. That leads the country in that department. She gets to first base, it's like it's a double. To start again in left field with her younger sister Kedri in center field. And Judy and Steve Lashar, mom and dad, their travels over the course of their upbringings. A strikeout. Alyssa Houston has been in the zone out of the Stanford bullpen. Mom and dad in the house.
Excuse me, the 14th strikeout on the year for Kai Lashar. Another leadoff out. Just the second time through the lineup here for Oregon. Kai Lashar has not been on base yet.
Sinicki rips it foul. Kai 0 for 2 today, 2 for 3 yesterday. Sinicki in search of her first hit of the weekend.
And I think that matters too. When you can keep speed off the base path, I mean, that to me is a key of this game. Don't allow the Oregon Ducks to dig in with their speed. Keep the ball in the park. If you can do those two things to this offense, Your chances of winning the game if you're Stanford are bigger.
It's not rocket science, it's softball.
It's not rocket science, it's softball.
Sometimes we may treat these sports like some sort of scientific experiment. Running grab made by Jones. That's the second out of the inning.
Routine out there. It makes it look routine at least.
Here's Riley McCoy. Ducks with just one hit so far in this game, trailing 2-0. Winner advances to the regional championship tomorrow. McCoy was hit by a pitch at her first plate appearance. 1 for 2 yesterday with a home run. Enormous cut. And it's a ball and a strike.
And this is the long ball hitter you have to worry about if you're Houston. You got that upspin. You can't let it hang too far over the plate. You got to let it jump.
Popped up shallow left field. And Mailer drifts back to record the third out of the inning. 1-2-3 frame, and Stanford coming up to bat. The great debate in our broadcast booth today has been the temperature, and despite some of my nonsense on the air, the coat has come on for our esteemed analyst Jenny Ritter.
It's just a comfortable long sleeve pullover. It is not winter.
Koch will lead things off for the Cardinal. 7, 8, and 9 due up first against Lindsey Grine, who remains in the circle out of the bullpen, the Oregon ace, after Sokolsky got the start. And Missy Lombardi came out of the Oregon dugout for a minute to chat with home plate umpire Matt Jacks. That'll prompt a conversation here at third base with Scott Wallace. It's already been a wild afternoon across the country. Liberty has upset Texas A&M. We've seen Mercer toppling Georgia Tech. LSU really had the nation talking yesterday, and it's lost in Baton Rouge to Southeastern. Big cut by Koch. 0-1. Kalen 0 for 1. After a perfect 4 for 4 start yesterday in the win against the Bearcats. Drove in 2 runs. Had an extra base hit. Koch out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Played all 5 seasons with Stanford. Takes high for ball 2.
Koch did a good job laying off that high pitch, and I think to me yesterday that's where Grine was successful. The rise ball that got the batters chasing yesterday, the Weber State batters. To me, if you can get Stanford chasing at that up pitch and the changeup, that's where Grine will be more successful. But so far, Stanford's been pretty patient. Tell that pitch right there.
Upstairs, Koch could not lay off of it, and the strikeout for Grine.
The second strikeout on Koch for the day as well. And this is a good jump that Lindsey Grine has on this rise ball. You can see it. It looks like it's coming in and gonna live right around the number on the jersey, or the letters on the jersey, and just continues to jump. Koch goes and chases it. At that point, too late, the barrel gets below the ball.
Back to Kylie Chung, who had a double in the second inning after the home run by Economides. Here in the top of the 4th. Jenny, it feels like Grind is on the edge of establishing some of that rhythm that we saw yesterday. Obviously a different opponent. Already with 2 strikeouts.
And I mean, I think Stanford obviously better hitters. I mean, I think that's not a secret. So Grind's going to have to work a little bit harder to feel as dominant as she was yesterday. But at the same time, you move your pitches well enough, you're going to get miss hits, you're going to get outs. Maybe not as many strikeouts. But really, I mean, she's been solid. She's done what she's had to do. Your job as a pitcher is to keep your team in the game. Limit the base runners, limit the runs that are plated. She's done that.
3 strikeouts for Lindsey Grind. Chung is retired. First inning, by the way, Stanford hasn't gotten the leadoff batter aboard.
And this inning has been fairly dominant for Grind. 2 strikeouts, this one looking in control, and you can see the glove slap, the excitement. A little bit more control here.
Allie Clements out of the 9-hole. .257 on the year for Allie. Klein, Texas, Klein High School, computer science major. 1-1. Started every game this year. Head coach Jessica Allister. A laser shot to left, and that one's got home run distance. 7th homer of the season for Allie Clements.
What a luxury to have your 9-hitter be able to hit 7 home runs and just feel as confident as your big home run hitter. This wasn't even a full swing through, just connects with it and barrels it up. This one got out of here fast. You could see Kai Lushar getting ready to play it off the wall just in case it didn't get out. Lifts over the fence. Quick response after 2 strikeouts. Lindsey Grind getting comfortable attacking the zone, and Allie Clements sticks to her game plan and connects with a pitch that's in that strike zone.
1-1 count, hammered to left field. I'm not sure that got more than 25 feet above the playing surface here. And it left in a hurry. Back to the top of the order in Taryn Kern. No home runs yesterday for Stanford, 2 so far today. For a team that smashed a single season record for long balls hit this year. And the offense has been as advertised so far in Eugene for the team out of the ACC.
And it feels like a slow burn for them. You know, it's not one after another after another. It's just slowly scored.
Lined out to first. McCoy was ready and waiting, but the Stanford Cardinal, a team with 48 wins this year. Houston remains in the circle. And Kedri Lushar takes strike 1. Now, you and I have been talking a little bit off and on during some of these breaks and contemplating the changes that have occurred and have not happened in the circle. And Alyssa Houston right now holds the key maybe for the rest of this weekend with her performance and what she's done up to this point.
I agree. I think Alyssa Houston has been stellar. She's shut him down, really. Just 1 hit since she's come in. And they're about to... Emma Cox was the first batter she's faced, and she'll be seen here in this inning. So it'll be the 2nd time through the lineup when they face her, and that'll kind of be the big determining factor always to me is how do they make their adjustments here at the plate? Oregon tends to do a pretty good job that second time through the lineup. So that'll be the big key factor here. But up till this point, they have not figured her out. And ultimately for Stanford, again, only having 3 pitchers in a staff, like you have to have one that kind of has a good day. You don't have a choice. You have to have somebody that's going to fight through it. And for Houston to really have her pitches moving well and throw good speed and be able to come in here and shut down an offense so that your offense can really step up and do their part, that's huge.
Lashar strikes out. And Houston, 5 strikeouts coming in out of the Stanford bullpen. It's a different Stanford team that's been built more around offense this year as opposed to its outstanding pitching that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, no kidding. It is something where movement on pitches like this, Houston, by the way, the energy that you're getting from Houston as well, I'm loving. But her movement to me is elite right now. She's getting great spin. She's getting a lot of swing throughs. And from batters too, that you're just seeing having great years. Kai Lushar had a strikeout. Kedri Lushar now with a strikeout. Patman has had a good day yesterday. She got a strikeout looking. Maki with the long ball strikeout.
And McCox turned on that one a bit too quickly. Home run distance, but in foul territory. I mean, Houston has been an incredible pitcher going back to her days in Arkansas and Benton. Led the state in opponent's batting average, 0.69 in 2023. A minuscule batting average against her in the circle that year. And then now coming into her own this season, 14-2, 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and over 100 innings tossed. 19 games and 8 starts last year. One of just 3 Stanford pitchers head coach Jessica Allister has utilized this year. But now Cox has worked a 3-1 count. Remember, Oregon started this game getting 2 of its first 3 batters on base. That one came too far inside to Cox, and the Ducks with a base runner.
You got to take advantage of this if you're the Ducks. You got a runner on base. Find a way to make this happen. Cox was the first, again, the first batter that Houston saw when she came in. She now found herself on in her second at bat facing Houston. Maake, this is her second at bat. This is where you make those adjustments. You jump in, you find a way to reconnect, see the ball different. And Coach Lombardi said, you know, we feel like we're just a little bit ahead. Work on getting more on time. You work on connecting differently with the pitches, put the ball in play differently, and create havoc on the base path. That's your goal. This is what the Ducks do so well.
Stephanie Maake gets set to dig in. A pinch runner now at first base in Reagan Legg. The Oregon Ducks in comeback mode. Bottom of the 4th inning. Trailing Stanford 3-0. Every pitch, every plate appearance, the utmost importance. Maake fouls away the first one she sees.
So Houston has stayed inside of Maake, her last at bat, and on this one, not allowing her to extend. And the power that she has, no doubt about it, you don't want her to extend her hands and send something over the fence. But she's also forced her to swing. She's attacking the zone.
Nothing in 2. Ducks with just 1 hit. Maake slings that one down the left field line and foul.
And you could see from that when Maake gets a hold of one, she puts a charge in it. And you don't want her to put it fair if you're Stanford. You've got to find a way to get it far enough in that she keeps it foul like that. Put enough on the outside corner. She can't square it up.
To the backstop, and Legg will race into second base on the wild pitch. And this crowd just on the edge of its seat, trying to will this team scratch across at least a run.
Well, you're right, the energy, like you've got to use the fan base. You've got to get excited. You've got to put some momentum back on your side.
Maake pops it up, and then behind home plate. Still 1-2.
I love it with every swing of the bat that Maake has. This crowd gets so excited. The oohs and ahs when she swings. They're waiting for something big to happen.
Houston already with 5 strikeouts. Just missed.
Just a touch low. Not missing by much.
Now the 2-2. Maake down the left field line. Fair ball. Legg racing towards home. No throw, and it's 3-1. Jenny, you could feel it coming, and Stephanie just timed it up the way that she needed to bring home Legg.
And Stephanie Maake, Missy Lombardi talked to us about it. She is the type of player that she just brings this energy and everybody follows. Everybody likes to see what kind of energy she gets people excited. And you're right, you could feel it because when she got this hit, it excited everybody that had a Ducks t-shirt on, that had a Ducks jersey on. And look at the energy that she brings. She found a way to plate one run, and you can almost feel that the Oregon Ducks can take a deep breath now. Working to even this score and just chip away at this 3-1 deficit.
Lise Crescio comes in as the pinch runner for Maake. And it's back to Des Patman.
And this is the kind of energy to me, though, that when you start feeling this energy, you put speed on the base path. As a pitcher, if you let that get to you and you kind of have an Achilles heel of walks and hit by pitches, that can get to you. And all of a sudden you start missing your zone. You start trying to throw too perfect and you miss over the plate, and then they start hitting more of your pitches, or you start walking more, and then you start putting more runs or more runners on the base path, and then more good things can happen for the Ducks. I mean, this is where they want to be right here.
That ball came right at the edge of the netting and the first row and the dugout for Oregon. And Patman with new life, that could have easily been an out. It feels like the postseason these last 2 innings, doesn't it?
It sure does. All of a sudden there's excitement. It almost felt like there was a little bit of a lull with the Ducks. You were kind of waiting for a shot of excitement.
Crowd in it, fully engaged. The 0-2. Stanford and Oregon. Good old days of the Pac-12 reinvented this weekend. Patman to right field, caught. Kaylin Koch had it played beautifully for the second out of the inning. Well, Patman gave that a ride for a minute. She'll pass the baton to Kaylin Jones.
And again, from the excitement of the crowd, you thought this one could have been a gapper, but Koch goes back on it. Crescio almost all the way to second. Instead, a second out. Crescio stays at first base. 2 outs on the board.
Kalen Jones on the outer edge, 0-1. Jones 1 for 4 here in Eugene. That hit coming today. One of just 2 knocks for Oregon up to this point.
When you know momentum is everything, you felt that strikeout against Kedry Lasharr, the first out of this inning, and you could feel like Houston had everything, and then she gives up a walk, and Maki gets that hit. Momentum shifts. And if you're Houston, you have to remember what you've done so far. In the body of work that you've had this game, you have to remember that momentum and not feel what it feels like in this inning. What we're feeling here in the booth, that excitement that the Ducks and the fans are bringing.
Swung on and miss, and Houston escapes. Trailing 3-1. Packed house here at Jane Sanders Stadium. Bunted back towards the circle. Flannery up with it at third base and not in time, and Jones is aboard.
In the back of my mind, I was waiting. This was a leadoff hit opportunity for Emily Jones to drop a bunt so beautifully. She deadens bunts so beautifully, and this one, no different. This one falls perfectly between all 3 defenders, first, third, and pitcher. And because it falls kind of in that middle, the 3 of them, that half second of thinking who's going to field it, gives Jones just enough to be able to get to first base.
Emily Jones now 2 for 3 today. And Stanford with a 2-run advantage, leadoff batter aboard, the 4th time in 5 frames. And that will get us to River Mailer.
We're actually going to see Emily Jones again. She's called out of the box, I believe. When you're out of the box, you have the choice as the defense to either take the result of the play or give a strike. So of course they don't want to take the result of the play because it was a hit. So they bring her back to the box, give her a strike.
And she'll ground out weakly to McCoy at first. So one more look on what appeared to be an infield single, and the bunt laid down beautifully.
Take a look at the feet. I didn't see it there. From that angle.
Now it brings us to River Mailer. And it's 0-1. Well, that was an interesting sequence because really nobody said anything. By the time Jones got to first base, there was a meeting in the circle, and by the time we turned back around, Jones was back in the batter's box. And it was scored as a single off of the bunt in our score tracker. I wonder for a moment maybe if that was ruled a foul ball at some juncture. Two and two to Mailer. First team all ACC. Grine retreats out of the circle for a moment. Wanted the strike call.
Yeah, close pitch right there. Good patience by Mailer. When you get a 1-2 count, something close like that.
Fly ball straight away center. This one's got some pop and it's gone. River Mailer. 11th home run of the season. And the long ball party continues for the Cardinal.
Now, we said it last inning, but the slow burn of this offense, you know, it's passing the bat, but it's not passing the bat with singles. It's passing the bat with the long ball. Another bomb here. River Mailer just waiting. And she just sees this pitch in the strike zone and sends it right back up the middle. A hittable pitch. Mailer squares it up, good extension, and all the way back up dead center.
And Missy Lombardi will make the call to the bullpen. Lindsey Grine. 3 innings of work, gave up the 2 hits. And the 2 home runs delivered by Stanford. Now 3 on the day. It's 4-1 Cardinal as we step aside. 2.7 ERA. Grine, 3 innings of work, only gave up the 2 hits. As we mentioned, the 2 hits both left the ballpark. It's now 4-1 Cardinal. 2 teams used to play each other every year in the Pac-12. First time they've met in 377 days, and Lindsey Grine, no doubt we have not seen the last of her this weekend. Shutout performance yesterday over Weber State. Solid today, but waiting for the offense to catch up with this Stanford attack. It was one of the best in the country this year. Second in the nation in batting average at .357. Led the ACC obviously in that category. First in the conference in scoring and on base percentage. Jade Berry high in the air towards the scoreboard, over the scoreboard, and it's gone. My goodness. Back-to-back jacks. And it's 5-1 Cardinal.
She didn't give that one a chance. My goodness is right, because that shot was a moonshot over the scoreboard. Holy smokes.
And we talked with Stanford and head coach Jessica Allister 2 days ago. And they talked about the proverbial chip on the shoulder, the offensive approach, and how a team that was known for its pitching for so many years has steadily improved at the plate. This one given a ride to deep left field, and at the track, Chan nearly left the ballpark. But they all talked about the underdog mentality, and in these swings you can sense that. And the production certainly has been there, and Berry over the scoreboard. You mentioned the moonshot. Nearly 3 in a row delivered by this incredible offense.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, over the scoreboard, this was as high as it was deep. It was phenomenal.
It was over her picture.
It was still going up when the dugout was cleared to go give her high fives at home plate. It was crazy. That back-to-back jacks. And then Kira Chan comes out in the next at bat after Jade Berry and almost sends one deep. Caught by Kai Lushar instead, but man.
And a light drizzle starting to fall down here in Eugene. Well, you go back to what Joey Economides was able to do off the top of the netting towards left field. Not sure which ball traveled further, but Economides showing you her power. And then moments ago, Jade Berry right over the scoreboard. Economides back up to bat. Chambers battles back, records the punch out. The Cardinals strike for 2 more runs to grab a 4-run. He's only given up the 1 run. Came on in relief early. Kylie Chung. And Chung was seen getting loose in the bullpen as recently as 2 innings ago. Houston now in 3 of the 3rd innings has gotten the job done. Her team has needed her the most. And look, you think about the difference between winning this game and losing this game. If you're Oregon, you got to fight your way back if this score holds. Win a game later tonight to get back to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's certainly the harder way to get to the finals. Sometimes, to me though, when you do lose this game, it can get you in a rhythm. I know it's the more exhausting way to do it, but it'll get you in that rhythm of say, hey, like, we've got the harder way to do it, but we're gonna see more pitches, we're gonna get through it and get in that rhythm. They're facing a buzzsaw here with Alyssa Houston, though.
She's the one that has stolen the rhythm in this game from the hometown team.
I mean, phenomenal with her movement, her speed. She's mixing it well. 7 strikeouts. You can see the rain coming down. This can play a factor in the game for pitchers, especially ones who are getting a high level of strikeouts and the ball doesn't move as well if the ball becomes slippery.
Bunted to third, and Luchar thrown out by Jade Berry. And that has been the microcosm of this game. Oregon's speed being kept off the base paths. And Jade Berry up to the challenge, understanding the pressure that comes with having to field and fire cleanly in a hurry.
Yeah, I still can't stress enough how important that is to not allow Kai Luchar on base. The fact that they have not allowed her on base, such an important factor in this game. You put her on base, that automatically is second base. That's another 60 feet to me. It is so hard to get her out when she gets on. You create stress on yourself just by putting her on. She has not gotten on once this game. That has not allowed the Ducks to settle in. They haven't been able to advance her in any way whatsoever. They haven't been able to settle in and dig in and create havoc on that base path. They haven't been able to do hit and runs. They haven't been able to bunt her over, anything like that. And because of that, that has kind of kept them out of their element offensively.
Just 2 hits today for Oregon. And Alyssa Houston, look at what she did in the ACC this year. Second in the conference with 141 strikeouts. 7 more today. And Sinicki high in the air again in foul territory. Off the light pole. 0-2 the count. Sinicki first team all Big Ten, and Oregon just looking in search of another spark after that one rally in the 4th inning. Skies have opened up for a moment. The rain got a bit heavier right before that last break. It's lightened up since that point. You see the threatening skies, but only the lighter precipitation expected today.
Sinicki had been consistently fouling off a couple pitches. Houston brings in the changeup just to mix it up a little bit. A little bit too high in the zone.
Sinicki turned on that one quickly. The top of the netting.
Yeah, but she's staying inside every single time. She's not allowing Sinicki to extend her hands. She's kind of been in the upper 3rd part of the zone pretty consistently all day long.
Ground ball. Awkward hop over to Mailer at short. Elimination game coming up as soon as we are done with this first matchup today. Weber State and Binghamton, a pair of conference champions, and of the America East and the Big Sky. Koch unable to check the swing, and it's 0-1.
See how Koch kind of checked her swing. That's kind of indicative of what Stacey Chambers throws. Spinny pitcher. Hits her spot. She's a placement pitcher. Not a lot of speed. going to really be more of a placement pitcher on pinpoint control more than anything.
One and two. Katie Flannery has re-entered the game at third base for the Oregon Ducks. Shaw came in to pinch hit for her. Stanford trying to add to its advantage of 4 runs. Koch stays alive. Koch with a twin sister, Kennedy. Finished high school down in Arizona as record holder for hits, triples, on base percentage down at Saguaro. Injured in 2023. We mentioned she has spent all 5 years with this Stanford softball program. No entering into the transfer portal. And the culture constructed by Jessica Allister. It's a different team this year in a new league with some new faces in the circle. But the end result for a team that has reached the Women's College World Series each of the last 2 years has been the exact same. And Chambers wanted that when this crowd did too.
Coach Allister cheering Koch on, saying good job. That was a beautiful pitch. I actually like that one too. I might be with this Oregon fan base on that one. Beautifully on the corner.
Next delivery, Koch smashes it through the right side of the infield.
And that's a good response by Koch.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Tomorrow, Sunday Night Baseball, the Subway Series finale between Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, and the Mets, and Aaron Judge, the Bronx Bombers. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN. ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. And speaking of the big leagues, Kylie Chung for Stanford, up to bat, set to become a quantitative analyst for the Philadelphia Phillies. And her softball career comes to a close. This one gets away from Emma Cox, and that will allow the pinch runner Hayes to take second. You know, Chung has been brilliant in so many different ways. We've talked about her as a two-way standout. Coach Allister described her to us initially, the big personality. We asked her, well, what does that exactly mean? Well, it's off the field. And Kylie revealed to us she actually makes the pregame posters for this program before every single game, either highlighting something silly that's happened in the dugout or in practice, or just as a means to motivate her teammates. 2-0 the count. We asked her if she had one ready for this regional, and she responded that she did not. But we certainly remain curious, and perhaps we will see one and reveal that to America at some point.
She is a very witty person to me. I'd love to know what's on the poster. You're right. I am absolutely curious. It is not in the dugout. She does not put it in the dugout. Otherwise, we'd be taking a peek.
We may not be privy to that intel because there was really nothing offered in our direction as it pertains to the poster itself.
No, they changed subjects pretty quickly.
They did. 4-pitch walk, and Chung is aboard.
Taylor Spencer is a little bit of a different look than the other three because she goes up and down in the zone. She's going to throw a little bit of a higher heat. And she does bring a little bit of higher energy. I don't know as much as a Lindsey Grine kind of higher energy, but she's going to bring you a little bit more high energy.
We see all the great games taking place around America, down in Tucson, Ole Miss, and Arizona going toe-to-toe. The upset with Liberty down in College Station earlier today, the #1 seed Aggies, 8-5 final. And games that really have come right down to the wire. in a wide open field this year. And that's something you and I talked a lot about yesterday. You've heard it in the softball community as the tournament has gotten underway. Oklahoma still one of the teams to beat, and they've won 4 straight national championships with the Hall of Famer Patty Gasso. But there are so many teams this year that feel like they have a legitimate chance, including these two. Allie Clements 1 for 2. 262 average. Smashes that one into left field. They're going to wave around Hayes. The throw's cut off. And the Cardinals now lead it 6-1. And how about the afternoon? Allie Clements is having 2 for 3. The home run now she's driven into.
Yeah, Clements loved the high leg kick. This is a drop ball pitcher. This is how you hit a drop ball pitcher. You're not trying to lift this ball. You just drive it on the ground and find a way to get it through the infield. That's what she does here. Finds a way to score a run as well. Leadoff runner scores again. Every time the leadoff runner has gotten on, they've found a way to score. 2 times by home run, of course. 2 leadoff home runs. The other 2 times, once in the first inning by the Taryn Kern triple, went around to score. And then this inning, after the Kaylin Koch hit, Danny Hayes came around to score.
Still nobody out. 6-1 Stanford. And it's back to the top of the order in Taryn Kern. Chung now at second base, Clements at first.
And correction, the only time the leadoff runner did not score was in the 3rd inning. River Mailer was walked.
And the bases are loaded. 4-pitch walk to Taryn Kern.
And this is a tough situation to be in. If you're Oregon, again, you're trying to get through this game. You're trying not to allow the score to stretch any further. And, you know, you and I talked about it, how exhausting it is when you have a lineup that is as good as the Stanford lineup is. There's no batter that you can take off. You can't pass a batter, put a runner on, and then have an easier batter to face. They're all tough.
Tough is a great word to describe what Stanford has been this year. This team talked about it with us this week. The underdog mentality, the fact that its offense has always been cast in the shadow with its pitching. And then the ability to bounce back, even going back to last year's run to the Women's College World Series. There were early deficits and early games lost to teams like LSU on the road in the Supers. Early deficit to St. Mary's in the regionals. And in this season in particular, there have been games in which the Cardinals have trailed early, and the pitching has taken a moment to kind of settle in until the offense has figured out a way. And we're seeing that on full display this afternoon in Eugene. Back up the middle. That'll get through into center field for a base hit. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score. It's 8-1 Cardinal. Emily Jones comes through again, her 2nd hit of the game.
And this is truly the first inning where Stanford has just passed the bat. It hasn't been that slow burn via the long ball. They've found a way to hit singles. The free pass has played a factor in this inning, and 3 runs have scored for the Cardinal, and they're not done yet.
And still nobody out for River Mailer. And Mailer had the home run back in the 5th inning. Her 11th of the season. Stanford for the first time in postseason history with 4 home runs today in a single game. Snap throw back to second. Kern will get there. But Jenny, that mentality we were just talking about, and the bounce back ability, for lack of a better word, for this Stanford program going back to a season ago. And you could hear it in the tone of the voices of the team and Jessica Allister this week. It has continued into 2025 in a different way, in a new conference, a new stadium, and now on the road in a new postseason.
They absolutely have a different mindset this year, and I think that it's, you know, something that Jessica Allister does so well is she sets her team up to build on the previous year. It's never about starting anew in a new year. It's whatever you did last year, you start and you continue forward from what you did last year. And again, you can see it in the numbers from the previous year. And this Stanford team, to me, I think they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
It's a big one.
A big chip on their shoulder. You're right. It's a big one.
10 hits already today, 8 runs. 2 hopper to short, a little bit of contact with the runner Kern. She'll race around home to score. And a lot happening there. The ball hit right where Sinicki was, with Taryn Kern right in front of her, and that's going to prompt the on the verge of trying to run rule the home team. Now with 11 hits, and it's back to Jade Berry. So that play will be ruled an E6, no RBI for Mailer. All that coming on the 3-2 count. And Jade Berry now with a ball and a strike.
Yeah, I mean, I think Paige Sinicki could have fielded that, if you're asking me. And it seemed to me like, again, you can feel like there's going to be contact, and you spend sometimes too much time going to react to that contact than just fielding the play. And on review, it appeared that they felt that there could have been a play that could have been had without interference there.
Still no one out. Jones at second, Mailer at first base, and Jade Berry will strike out for out number 1. 4 runs are in for the Cardinal in the top of the 6th inning.
And that's a great response after review, after time is kind of slowed down, for Spencer to take that time to reset versus kind of get out of rhythm and go and get that K right there.
Well, Berry's phenomenal season continues to roll along now with 60 RBIs after this performance today, including the home run in the 5th inning. 3rd player ever in Stanford history to reach 60 RBIs. And Kira Chan, the batter. Kira's 0 for 3 today. Stanford a 9-1 lead. This will be one of those scores that will raise a couple of eyebrows around America today. It's not that Stanford can't compete and can't win here in Eugene, but a 9-1 margin at this juncture. And the dominant performance we've seen from Alyssa Houston, and the offense living up to the billing. Chan, the only Stanford hitter yet to reach base, fights that one off.
Well, it seems to me that Oregon is their best when they have high energy, when they have runners on base and can make things happen on base, and their pitching staff is shutting the opponent's offense down, and really none of those 3 things are happening for Oregon at this point, unfortunately for the Ducks.
Down the left field line, that's a fair ball. And Stamper will load the bases again, and Kara Chan joins the hit parade.
The Ducks are going to challenge the hit by pitch here.
Clearly off the elbow, and it didn't seem like on that initial pass that Economides was leaning in that direction.
Yeah, and you have a couple challenges. At this point, you're trying to get out of the inning, right?
I think she thought about offering for a moment, and then.
Yeah, I don't see anything there. I don't think that she looked to me like she was even trying to kind of lean back and get out of the way. I don't see anything there that would change the call.
We've got the protection, but it's still not a spot in where you're likely to try to lean in and try to absorb one.
Yeah, and to me, usually when you're called back, it's got to be blatant, where you're, sticking a knee out, sticking an arm out.
It's one of those situations where you know it when you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually pretty obvious to me.
To put that in the rule book.
She was loading up, so there was definitely like an intent to load, but I didn't see an intent to stick your elbow out to try to get hit there. And I don't see her leaning over the plate either.
After further review, the ball was in the box.
Yeah.
The runner was awarded first base.
Yeah.
That was the last of Oregon's challenges for the game.
And it has to be, when it's in the box, you're awarded the base no matter what. So
Smokey Eds gives the intel. Bases are loaded. 5 runs are in for Stamper in the 6th inning. And counting. At this point, if you are Jessica Allister, and certainly you don't want your foot off the gas at any point in time in the postseason, but you start thinking a little bit about what tomorrow could bring, I would think.
I think at this point, yeah, if you're Oregon, you've got to get out of this inning. You've got to get out of this game. And I think the hard part for Oregon, if you're thinking about this regional, because your goal, this is a team that believes that they have what it takes to go deep into postseason. And now your backs are against the wall. Not only get out of this game, but to get out of this regional. How do you go and attack not only the next game, another hit by pitch?
11-1.
Not only to get out of this game, but to get out of the regional. How do you go?
And it's back to Taryn Kern. 8 runs are in the top of the 6th inning, a frame that has spanned more than 45 minutes. And the Cardinal have blown this game wide open.
No weakness in this lineup. No chance to kind of wait for a batter that's maybe having an off time. Every single batter just so good. You have to go and fight, work to find one that might have a miss hit. I mean, your strongest home run hitter here has the most strikeouts on the team, so maybe this is your best chance to really go and attack the zone, but good upside for her at-bats too.
When you think about teams in the ACC this year, Florida State and Clemson, Duke comes to mind. Stanford has been right there. Payoff pitch, fly ball to center field, and a jumping catch will be made at the warning track. Tagging from third will be Koch. It's now 14-1. I don't know that you'll find a better catch than what we just saw from Kedri Lashar. Fully extended right against the wall.
I don't think that you can say that there's anything else that's more all out than this. This was everything you could to get an out for your team right there.
Jenny, I was pausing for a moment to make sure that that ball still remained in the glove as she fell down on the warning track dirt.
I actually had the same question, but she got up to get it in. Knowing that there's runners on the base path, you can't hang on to it.
Tap to second, and the inning comes to a close. Jones fields and fires. The damage is
there until she lifted her glove. Claimed that she caught it.
McCox the batter, and the first pitch low from Pistaico.
We had two Ducks that were first pitch swinging there and put the ball in play pretty hard. Pistaico often used kind of as a closer. Again, a Stanford pitching staff that only has 3 pitchers on it. When you think about tomorrow, when you think about kind of how things are going to play out for Stanford, if you think that maybe in this regional, you might see Oregon in that final, you want to save Houston as much as you can, right? She was pretty dominant against the Ducks in this game.
And Pistaico shows you some of her quality stuff. Snaps it right past Cox. Alyssa Houston. You have to figure she'll be front and center tomorrow. And Oregon, meanwhile, will have to worry about what happens later tonight.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot to fight for in this region. And Stanford, I mean, has put on a show in this game so far. They've proven why their offense is leading in power categories or in the tops in power categories. And I think that's going to be a hard thing as they advance in the postseason or continue in the postseason of how do you attack them? What do you do? Who plays them tomorrow? And how do you approach them?
Frozen rope to center field, and there is Emily Jones for out number 2. And the Ducks down to their final out. So we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance in this Stanford offense. 2nd in America in batting average at .357 as a team. Here comes the power. 4 home runs hit today. Absolutely smashed. And that strength on full display, part of the difference between these two teams this afternoon.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the offense is amazing. The long ball started it, like we said, a slow burn. But then they just turned it on there in the 6th inning. The 6th inning, their most offensive production all year long. They've played more runs in the 6th inning than they have in any other inning. They did it again today.
It's the first time in postseason history Stanford has recorded 4 home runs in a game. And after winning 40 games in the regular season. Victory yesterday over Binghamton. On the verge, winning their 42nd game. Popped up, right back to the circle. Pistaico has it. Here come the Cardinal. 14-1 the final score. The run rule victory in Eugene.
And I have to say, I didn't expect it to be a run rule. I expected it to be a close game.